Hello, everyone. I have Lesa Hand here with me today. We're going to be talking with her about her experiences with Reiki training, with Reiki healing, and a little bit about the thinking into results. Lesa and I met back in March, and that's kind of where it began. So we're just going to walk you through the experiences up until this time. So, Lesa, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing great. Doing
Good.
fantastic.
Good.
So why don't we just get started with, the Reiki? How did you learn about Reiki and, how we got connected and then maybe your first few Reiki sessions? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Mhm. I first heard about Reiki years ago. Somebody had mentioned it to me in passing, and I didn't think much of it. And I got to a point this last year where it just seemed like everything in my life was crashing. So Reiki came into my head again. So I started kind of doing some research. And by doing research on the internet, it's very difficult to find anything concrete. So I started looking up Reiki healers around me, and you came up, and I was drawn to you for some reason, even just like your name on an internet page, um, because there are others that are closer to me, but they just didn't feel right. So I called you, and you gave me my first healing, and it pretty much changed the whole trajectory of my life at that time.
Oh,
So yeah, it's
wow,
been.
very good. So, um, your first healing, kind of walk us through that on, you scheduled an appointment, you came in. What were your
Yep.
expectations? Were those expectations met?
I really didn't have any expectations. I thought, well, we'll see what this is. We'll just see.
Mhm.
And um, something entirely transformative happened, and I left there pretty much in shock because I really had a hard time. My husband wanted to know, called, he wanted me to call and let him know how it went and everything. I called him. I'm like, I really don't know how to even explain to you what just happened to me. I said it felt like just the whole world just opened up. I feel 110% better already.
Mhm.
Um, it was like nothing I've ever felt before. And then you were having the Reiki with the sound healing, and I really wanted to try that. So I made an appointment to do that. And that was even the second time was even more intense. Um, and it just the combination of the two, it was it made me decide right then and there that I wanted to do Reiki. So
Mhm.
that's when I signed up for a class. I got my Reiki level 1 in April, and then my level 2 in July.
Oh, very good, very good. So I remember the Reiki level one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you? We can talk a little. Well, I'll talk a little bit about the class itself. Reiki level one is more for people to do self healing. So
Mm-hmm.
you learn about Reiki, you learn about the history of it. I teach a little bit about our energy bodies and how that works with our physical body. I go through the class and teach people how they can do self Reiki and also how they can start healing other people as well. But the level one is really more for starting to practice with friends and family. Um, so let's talk a little bit about, and then we do demonstrations, right, on
Mm-hmm.
how to heal one another.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk a little bit about level one. What was your experience? We end with an attunement too, because you need to be
Mm-hmm.
attuned to the Reiki energy in
Right.
order to feel it. So let's talk about that.
During my attunement, it was just like a jolt of electricity, kind of went through my body, and my hands felt like they were just completely on fire. Um, I could not, get them to cool off. I went in and washed them. I tried to, and they were just on fire. Um, it was, um, it was very. very interesting. The attunement. I we did some practicing and tried to um try to um do some healing that day, and I really just couldn't even feel anything because my hands were just so hot.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something that I had to learn, just keep practicing and practicing until I could figure out a balance between the hot hands and the energy I was feeling from other people. So my family got to experience all the Reiki healings because I practiced on them all the time.
Yeah, and I think during the class you were in, we probably had about 8 people in
Yeah.
that class. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember your attunement was pretty profound.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably the most profound in the class. A lot of people will leave the class with, energy, being able to feeling the energy in their hands. But yours was really powerful. And I
Mm-hmm.
think I think to me that almost seems like that's that you are a natural healer because of that reaction that you had. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. Well, in my vocation as a nurse, that's kind of where I went with that, my career. So there's already something in me that wants to be a healer.
Hmm.
And I, like you said, I think it was just natural. I think it was just waiting to come out, and you helped it come out.
Yeah.
Taught me how to get it out.
Yes, that's awesome. I love it. All right, so then you went on, you decided, okay, you've worked with Reiki 1, Reiki 2 attunes people a little bit more to the
Mm-hmm.
energy to where you
Mm-hmm.
have even more healing abilities, and that's the practitioner level where you are able to, set up a practice and start healing people.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk a little bit about Reiki too and what you've been doing since that attunement.
Okay. Um, in Reiki 2, you learn to use the Reiki symbols. You learn to do distance Reiki. And I think it kind of helps me get a deeper understanding of how to do what I needed to do. So I got um the bed, the massage table. I'm setting up a room. Um, got some stuff yet to move out of here so that I can set it up the way I want it. But I've been doing healings on my husband and my son every week. And my son will call me, "Is your office open?" Can be. Why? What do you want? I need a healing. And he was Mr. Skeptical. He just, this is nothing. This is voodoo. He calls it my voodoo. So the first time he got one, I made him get it. And now he keeps coming back every week, every week, every week. And that was probably 5 weeks ago.
Hmm.
It's been at least 6 weeks since I took Reiki 2. So yeah,
Yeah.
he's an absolute believer. He's telling all of his friends, "You got to go see my mom. You got to go get a Reiki healing. You wouldn't believe it." It's
Yeah,
I've sent some.
you said two things that I think if people are listening to this that they may think the same thing. But whenever we step into this healing role, um, our families can be a little skeptical of it.
Uh-huh.
I know that was sort of my experience where, okay, well, we'll support you on what you want to do, but there's still some skepticism there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
until you practice with them and you do the Reiki treatment, and then they're
Mm-hmm.
like, wow, like I'm my mind's not doing that. You're totally the Reiki's working. And
Yep.
then it starts a healing process, whether it be from physical healing or emotional, reducing emotional, the stress reduction that Reiki
Mm-hmm.
can give you. And
Anxiety.
I think that's been the experience, with my family, and I use it for everything. I use it for sports injuries. I use it for stress reduction. I use it for, um, if the kids have football practice, because you get a little bit beat up in tackle football.
Mhm.
You can use that to so they can start naturally healing, from even the smaller things like that.
Right.
So, what about your family? Both your husband and your son were a little bit skeptical at first.
Yeah. Of course, my husband has a little bit more of an open mind, and he pretends to anyway, I guess. He'd sit there and listen to me go, really? Mm-hmm. And whether or not he believed a word I was saying is another thing. But when
Hmm.
I got him on the table, he, I started, my healing, and when I got done, he just laid there. I thought, oh my gosh, I just killed him. And he just kept laying there and laying there. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? He's like, nothing. He's like, it's like the sun just started shining on me. It's like this bright light was just came into me. I said, that's Reiki. That's the power of the goddess.
That's the love and light of Reiki, right?
Mhm.
And I've heard people call this sort of thing woo woo, or I think you mentioned voodoo, but
Yeah.
really the reason why people they don't want to understand, and it's really not their fault that they don't understand, because we were never taught this. We
No,
weren't taught about what's really available to us, so
no.
it's just a lot of I would say false belief, a false
Hmm.
belief system that's out there. And I think we're coming onto a time in our world where everybody will start needing energy healing. And so we're just kind of setting the foundation for that. So we're
Hmm.
holding the space for those people who understand it. And there's quite a few that do,
Hmm.
to get the healing. And then, we're ready and available for when people actually research and take a look at what their belief systems are and realize that this is true and this is real.
Right. Exactly.
Hmm.
And the only thing I have to say to people is you all you got to do is come, let me do a treatment, and your mind will be changed 100%. You can be the
Hmm.
biggest skeptic, and it's going to work no matter what. Um, I told some people the other day, she has a friend of mine, she has ADD, and she's like, even the medicine's not helping anymore. I said, then come over. And
Hmm.
I won't tell you what she said, but she essentially told me I was crazy. I'm going to work on her until I get her over here because I know it's going to help her. Um, but yeah, if anything, just anything is wrong, you've got anxiety, you've got aches and pains, you've got anything, go for a Reiki healing, get your energy balanced, and you'll find out you feel 100% better right off the bat. So yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. Everyone talks about how they feel a little lighter, a little bit. A lot of people talk about this inner peace that they feel from
Mm-hmm.
Reiki. It just relieves stress. It helps people get moving on to what they really want to do, and just letting go of some of these emotional blocks that we have um, from everyday stressors of life. Um, because that's really not how we were meant to live, with
No.
all these worries and doubts and stresses. Life is supposed to be
Yeah. True.
much different
Yes.
than how people are living it.
That's
Um,
true.
mhm.
Very true.
All right. Anything else you want to say? And so with Reiki too, you've got your massage table. You've been communicating to your friends and family, and I think that's a great way to start. People who know you and trust you,
Mm-hmm.
to kind of get this introduced into more people's homes and lives, because it can make a huge impact.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yes. I'm trying to get a couple of people come in here, and then I think by word of mouth, they talk about it, and I mean, I think it's just gonna snowball, and it's gonna,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. You had mentioned, someone that said the medications aren't working anymore. My experience with people have been not all, but some of them who have come for Reiki healings is because it was sort of the last resort for them.
Mhm.
One, they either couldn't get into the doctor's office, or uh, the doctors are saying there's nothing wrong with them when they know
Mhm.
clearly there's something going on with them. Then they come
Mhm.
in for energy healing. I'm hoping that we see a switch in that, and I'm slowly starting to see it where people understand what energy healing is, and we can work in conjunction with doctors and get people healed a lot quicker, um,
Right.
instead of just last resort, energy healing. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. 100%.
yeah, very
Um,
good.
the answer is not always a pill,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes it's your blocked energy.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Mhm.
Um, and then do you want to talk a little bit about the thinking into results?
Mhm.
Um,
Okay. Very, very rough class. It makes you take a very uh, deep look at yourself, and yeah, it's good. It's very good. It's very healing also. It um makes you stop and think about all your bad habits and what you're doing to yourself. Yeah. And I would recommend it. And I know you're a coach. Yeah, so they can go through you for this class. But yeah, we're starting chapter 5 out of 12.
Yeah, 12
Yeah.
chapters. It's a 6-month long personal transformation. Um, but what it really looks into is letting people know that we are so powerful as human beings, especially with the higher mental faculties, which I think is what we went over this week, right? Lesson 5.
Mhm.
And how to really tap into to use those to start living your life from the inside out, because we already have all the answers, and stop searching on the outside for answers,
Mhm.
because our
Yeah.
outside world with what we're seeing, we're just going to keep getting the same results over and over. So thinking into results is, I think it's magical. It's like pulling the magic out of people. But what it's been done for me is it's really, that too increases your vibrations, just like Reiki does. So if you have a positive mindset and can focus in on that. Um, but the combination of the two, really helps to make a powerful healer for other people too.
Yeah. Yeah. Um you so far I've really kind of used it to look at some of the old my old ways of thinking, and got I'm trying to get rid of them. It's yeah, it's about your bad habits and how much they're keeping you down. And if you just changed your mindset, you change your whole life. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Just getting rid of bad habits and bad thoughts a lot of bad thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to say this too, is thinking into results is not just for healers. It's for you set
Mhm.
a goal, what you want to do, because all of us have different unique abilities and talents. And some of those may be the music route. Some of them may be, whatever, if you have a small business and you want to move that forward, and that's your unique talent and gift.
Mhm.
But basically, it's whatever you want to do, you're able to do anything that you want to.
Mhm.
It just so
Mhm.
happens that Lesa and I are going the healing route, but it's
Right.
for, people take it for all sorts of things to actually manifest those things into our physical world much quicker. So that's where the quantum leap comes from, is you can
Right.
pull things in much quicker. Um,
Right.
so yeah, and it's really, really learning about you and who you are
Mhm.
and what your abilities are and what your capabilities are. And then once you understand yourself as a person, and the reasons you do the things that you do, then you
Mhm.
can understand everyone else a lot better. And everything just starts to make sense of why people do the things that they do.
Yeah. You learn how you're holding yourself back from doing the things that you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or how to get unstuck if you're stuck in
Mhm.
life.
Mhm.
How to really take a deep dive into your life and get yourself unstuck. So,
Mhm.
um, very good. So we've talked about a lot of things today.
Uh-huh. We have.
Is there anything else that you think we need to talk about that we haven't touched upon?
No, just everybody needs to call and schedule an appointment.
There you go. Yeah, very good. All right. Well, thanks so much, Lisa. I appreciate you giving your experience about Reiki, about the Reiki teachings, and congratulations to you for being a healer now. And
Thank you.
it works, right? We've got
Uh-huh. It
you've
works.
got you've got some people that you've been working with. So I look forward to keep hearing about your journey and the healings that you're doing. And yep, and we'll be stuck together for the next what is it? 7 more lessons, so 14 more
Mhm.
weeks.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk.
All right.
All right. All right. Well, very good. Thanks a lot. Have a good evening.